Hello, and welcome to the Quantum Human Revelations show. So we're on about week, I think it might be even 11 right now, and each of the weeks I have been talking about the kind of new skills that we are receiving as humanity evolves and as the ascension energies progress. So I think I said last time I wasn't sure how these shows were going to go because I wait to get a channeling of what we're going to talk about. And today I'm excited to say it's going to be about manifesting. But manifesting as a 5D human, not as the old paradigm of manifesting. So if that sounds interesting to you, grab a cup of tea and come and join us. And I want you to think about this as a time when we're tuning into the energy. So it's a transmission as well as a discussion. And feel free to ask questions and join me. I'm Trudy and I'm White Star. You'll find my pages. And this is kind of for people who are just awakening to the potential as an energy healer or an energy alchemist, and how we can use some of these spiritual divination techniques to bring that magic spark into our everyday work. So I think I said a couple of weeks ago, it's not necessarily for people who are already healers, although that still is useful because we are all upgrading. Even if you've been a healer for a long time, you might be finding you're getting new skills and new ways of doing things. But particularly, I'm interested in those logical people who have that kind of tiny pinch of intuition and haven't really done much with it, because you may have noticed your dream time's getting a bit crazy right now and you're being called to be something bigger and something bolder. So are you ready to step off the sidelines and step into this bigger, bolder vision of who you could be? That's the question, I guess, that's going to be running as a theme for these Quantum Human Revelation episodes. So we started the journey talking about the creative path to 3D abundance, but we started changing that and saying, let's be more specific. It's our creative path to our value, to our worth, to money, how we make money in this world, using not only our practical, logical skills, but also these softer skills, these intuitive skills. And we've been kind of talking about how you might know if you're a quantum human awakening right now. But there is a creative aspect to all of this, because obviously a lot of logical people use their creative brain a lot, but stepping into this other dimension of creativity, this higher self, this soul-led downloads and insights, is just an area that perhaps you've not explored so far. So what I've been doing each week is discussing different aspects of that so that you can see if that's for you and then maybe join us. So hopefully you're all sitting comfortable right now, because we have a special episode today, because a friend and also someone that's been working with me on their soul's great vision is going to join us. And we sat down today in a hurry and said, because she had some amazing news today. So I said, wouldn't it be cool, as it's manifesting is what this week is all about. Wouldn't it be cool if we shared the timeline and the steps that you went through to come from where you were to where you are now, and see if other people can relate to that story as a way to helping people understand this work? Because I feel like this work is at the cutting edge of spiritual new concepts, new ideas. And sometimes it's hard, I think even my readings are about maybe 3 months ahead of what I see everybody else speaking about. So I don't always have the right words to completely explain it. But if you're joining me now, you're already tuning into some of that energy and getting it ahead of time. So if any of you are watching, I'd love for you guys to come back in, say, maybe a month or 2 months' time, and see if these videos now resonate more because of something else that's happened. And please give me some feedback, because you guys, I'm sure, I've got pieces of the puzzle that I need as well. This is a collaboration at the end of the day. I'm a soul guide, but there are other people with specialties that also need to fit into their places to make this work. So without talking much more, I think everybody's set up. I'm just checking that all my chats are up. I think they are. Then I'd like to introduce Marta Polinelli. So she's a friend and I've known her a long time. So I'll just, she's got a camera on. That was quick. Well done. And we've known each other quite a while, but in 2021, we started working together, mainly because I was discovering my soul vision, and I invited a few special people to join me on that journey with me. And Marta was one of those people.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
So what I thought we'd do today is go through a timeline that she's taken to show you her journey from 2021 to today and what we've achieved. And remember, this wasn't we didn't have like, we must achieve this by a certain deadline. We were on this journey, taking a journey, discovering what we wanted to know, what we were learning. And the journey started with me saying, I've been nudged to create a course, and it's called Discover Your Soul's, which at the time was just called Discover Your Great Vision. And it was very adamant that I use those words, not soul purpose, not soul mission, but your soul great vision. And the course had to use archetypes and future life visits to visit ourselves to get to know more about ourselves. And that's where we started, where the few people joined me. And I think we were about 8 people or 10 people. And we all decided to go on this journey and explore what this was going to reveal to us about what our vision of being on the planet right now was going to be. The main theme that came up was that whilst the world was broken and all falling apart, there was just so many opportunities hidden in this for us to step into. So Marta, do you want to give us a bit of background on what you used to do?
So I have a degree in art and architectural history, but I used to work as a pharmacy assistant, so with medicines and medical stuff.
Cool. So when we started this course, did you feel like your life was where you wanted it to be at that time?
No, definitely not. I knew there was something like missing that I wanted to achieve.
And is that the reason that you decided to take this journey? Can you give us a bit of a background on why?
Yes, because I wanted to do more energy work and I wanted to discover more about my soul vision. And it was all very experiential and I loved it.
So basically, so even though we've been friends for a while, I just want to make sure people know that you were not a healer, you were not doing energy work before.
No. I was always interested, but no, I wasn't doing like any healing or anything.
So that's why I think that's my tribe as well for who I work with, because it's people who have the ability that's hidden and they don't realize, and it's valuable to them, but they don't know how to bring it forward. So a couple of weeks ago, Marta was visiting and I was doing a cleansing of the house to bring the energies up, because I always check the energy of my house. I work with fifth dimensional energies and also galactic frequencies, as I've been sharing with you guys over the last couple of weeks. And I just noticed the house wasn't quite right. So because Marta's interested in energy, and we'll explain how that came about and what that is relevant in the moment, but I asked her to get involved in this energy. So basically I was telling her what I was sensing and tuning in with her as well. And we started to notice a negative energy that had activated through something that had happened that day. It wasn't there before, it was just something that revealed itself, which is very much what Ascension's about at the moment. Sudden revelations of things that you didn't know were there are now being seen and more visible.
Yeah.
And it was quite interesting because part of the solution was a book that I just bought Marta for her birthday.
Yeah.
So I was kind of giggling and thinking, oh, so the solution's in the book. And then I just said to myself, okay, is this because Marta actually has to do this? And it said, yes. So poor Marta came to visit for an afternoon and ended up having a very rapid training, but actually it's a remembering of how to use sigils to change the energy of a house. So how did that feel when that happened?
Well, I was at first a bit surprised. I really loved the book, but the whole experience and these like accelerated training, it was really like a remembering, and it felt really natural and I was really drawn into it.
So the cool thing is, like I said, Marta's been working on her soul's great vision since 2021. So this was kind of interesting that this popped up now. And that's often the path. The soul journey is not a straight line. It's this kind of weaving in and out process. And I thought this wasn't a coincidence when this happened. This was going to be something really important to our soul's great vision, because I've noticed a couple of people in this last 2 weeks had similar revelations. They were just popping up in sessions, which is quite exciting for me. It's like, oh, wow, I finally get what this is all about. So as part of that work, the next question I kind of asked was, whatever this frequency was that was stuck in the house that was causing this issue, was this Marta's specialism? And the answer was
yes.
And the word came to me as a Welsh word. If you don't know already, I'm Welsh. And Eisteddfod is a gathering of poets and singers and bards that is like a competition that we have in Wales every year. And that was even the sigil that Marta created. When I looked at the letters, it kind of looked like the word Eisteddfod. And I thought, that's really interesting. So it kind of, to me, felt like this was a community kind of thing, but I wasn't sure at first. So Marta started doing her thing, because the way I work with clients is that I feel like we're all meant to be together, that we've all got pieces of the puzzles. So even though I'm the soul guide and I can bring in the downloads of the divine intelligence that you guys need, you guys know how to do the work. So armed with a book and a concept, which was just a concept, I then told Marta to start working on a sigil, which she did. Now, I started with link kind of then slowly evolved as she was doing this energy work and I was tuning into what she was doing. I could get these words like, this is a council of creatives. You're connecting me to my higher council, not just my higher self, but to my tribe, my galactic tribe of creativity, which kind of fits all the creative path work we've been doing over the last few weeks. So when we did that, we kind of sat down, and then Marta said to me about one of her favorite meditations of the course.
Yeah, it's the soul to soul tribe, where you connect to your soul tribe, and that came quite natural to me the first time I kind of approached it, and I was quite surprised, but it felt like home. So yeah,
and that's kind of how it felt since you've done that work, and it feels more like I don't have a family. I live alone, but now I feel like there's a family around me, like a higher family, which really feels odd. I've always had downloads and things, so this higher family is a new concept for me. So that was really interesting, and it kind of led us onto the path of Marta's niche, which, do you know how to say that now, what you've been doing?
So we realized that I bring the creative soul council for people, so that they can work in a better flow for the creative solutions in their life.
Excellent. So that is not the job she's doing, obviously. And it's quite far from the job she was doing. However, let us give you a bit of a background of how we got her to this point so far. So back at the end of the Soul's Great Vision, we found that she had, if we took, like when we do the Soul Vision, we would take everything that we've done so far, our childhood dreams, and we put it together outside of the construct of society's definition of a job to try and create like a new thing. And your pieces were the house architectures.
Yes, architectural history, art and symbolism, which I've always loved. So these are the recurrent themes in my life, and the love of adventure as well.
So from all of that, we ended up with understanding that perhaps feng shui was a kind of the nearest current role to these skill sets.
Yeah, it came to me that feng shui could have been kind of helpful for me to develop new skills and combine them with what I already knew.
So at this point, we started then, or you thinking about doing some training in it, yeah?
Yeah.
Tell us about that process.
So I was looking for different courses, but the one I was drawn to, I saw a few, but the one I was really drawn to, because of the energy work that I'd done with Trudy, it was the feng shui course that had as a main part energy work rather than just the main traditional techniques, which he had, but the energy work was as an essential part.
And during that process, so my cat's just come in and said hello. So during that process also, what we'd moved on from the Great Vision course into the second part of the course, which was now starting to act and sell ourselves and be seen and be visible in our new vision role. So we didn't actually know completely what that vision was at this point, but I just felt like we needed to start to articulate some of our skills, and through the articulation of those skills into a presentation, we would reveal more of what our soul vision was. So what was your topic for that?
So I wanted to focus on objects, specifically antique and secondhand objects, and how they may kind of trap some energies.
And I guess your art background really helped with that, because...
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, that's definitely something that I've always kind of been interested in, for sure.
So her presentation was about trying to take... The whole point of the presentation wasn't to take something she already knew, but to tap into the soul wisdom and create something to show our innate value without having to have external training. So that's why we picked this subject, because it wasn't something you'd done on your course at this point.
No, not at all, no.
So the idea was then to take that concept and get used to being more impactful in your message and speaking publicly like you're doing now.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
This is not natural for Marta to do this, but this is something we all encourage ourselves.
Yeah, we did work on that.
And selling yourself is actually quite hard, yeah?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You want to get your point across in like a soulful way, but also impactful.
And did you find that course kind of helped you learn some of those skills?
Yes, definitely. Absolutely.
And I suppose that's the foundation of how you're here today. When I said, Marta, come live with me today.
Yeah, it was scary, but yeah. Okay, let's do it.
So as I say, we were working on this timeline earlier. So if it's a bit sketchy, follow us through and we'll get to the end in a moment. So we did this Great Vision course. So her specialty was this. What was the title of your talk?
Are your objects propped in against you?
Cool. So based on the concept that if you had negative energy in your objects, either from your own interactions with them or from historic interactions with them, that they could be generating energy in your home that was negative.
Yeah.
So now perhaps you could start seeing the link of why I thought Marta was the one to fix negative energy in my home. So from that, when we did that course, then you carried on obviously with your feng shui studies and stuff, but you started noticing that you preferred like the more energetic part of your course, I suppose, as opposed to the traditional feng shui kind of practices.
Yes, definitely. I did enjoy the energy part so much more because it allows me to tap into my creative side more, and that's what I want.
And what were you using kind of in this energy work, like geopathic stress, spiritual crystals? What were you doing?
Yeah, geopathic stress, finding entities, find energies that are not positive in the house, crystals, and now I can add sigils.
Yeah, and sigils for sure. So it's quite interesting that, you know, if I'd said to you at the beginning of the time you were thinking of doing a feng shui class that you were going to be working with sigils, I don't suppose you'd even have considered that was an option, huh?
I probably wouldn't have thought that would be possible. It's been definitely a development journey, beautiful journey.
And with the things that you're learning now, can you see, like, were you learning, like, often I say to people, take a course, but the course isn't the purpose. The course is a vehicle for something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much what you were learning from the teacher, but what you learned about yourself.
Yeah, I can see that. Obviously, there are some inputs, but then I developed like what I wanted out of it.
And how easy was it for you to express yourself, like your talents, naturally to the group?
At first, it wasn't that easy, but then I kind of learned that by expressing myself more, I realized that actually my soul was happier, and therefore I was happier too.
And I guess, you know, how many of us have kind of been in the position where we don't say something because we think we're too weird to fit in and we hold back on it. And it's quite interesting because obviously we were doing, at this point, we were starting doing some quantum manifesting skills as well. And I remember saying to you, you need to tell your teacher you're doing this. And you said,
no way. Oh, that's scared.
But I kind of nudged you saying, look, you need to, it's part of who you are, it's your authenticness, you need to share it. And then what happened recently?
I've been I've been delving into the work a bit more, and recently I had a surprise. So somebody came to me and asked me for a consultation, and I wasn't expecting that, and I was really happy.
So that's the kind of exciting news that we had to share, because so Marta knew she obviously wanted to do this work, but had no clue how she was going to attract her first client.
No, definitely not.
Because of the sigil work that we did here,
and
I don't even know how it all fitted together, but as soon as we did the sigil work, we understood then that the creatives she was here to help was needed connection to this soul creative council in order to boost their work into a new fifth dimensional level, to really take their work up several notches in what they were doing. And it was that you ended up doing a client for, not the traditional feng shui stuff.
No, not at all. No, it was something more spiritual and oriented to the soul tribe, which is really what I like to do. And now I'm going towards that. It's very, very inspiring for me. I feel really happy.
And how does it feel to just have, because that's just happened today, you know, you kind of yesterday and today is that client kind of arriving. And I remember you saying to me, like, was it the Christmas time, that part of your course was like you had to get a client, you didn't know how you were going to do that, you weren't sure how that was all going to fall into place. And then it kind of came about and almost slipped under the radar until I said to you, so you did it then, you did actually manifest a client.
Yeah.
Because you hadn't done the work to go and find them, you almost missed the point.
I almost did. Yeah. But yes, it was great. It was a great feeling that
So
I actually managed to manifest it.
exactly. But the thing is, and this is why today's energy is really important, is that manifesting doesn't have to be this process of, we need clarity on where we're going for sure. We need to know exactly where we're going. We need to come from our heart, not our mind. If you're creating your great vision from your mind, you're probably not aligned with it and it's not going to succeed. If it comes out of your heart, which is what we've been doing, is working on the heart, working on the soul, working to listen to our soul on a deeper level so that we get clarity on what we're doing, even though we don't see the big picture, and then having faith to walk that path. All of these things is actually what manifested your client, not you having to create a sales page, going out there and working out your web page or your sales process. It was just simply being aligned, soul aligned, that got you this client.
Yeah, becoming more aligned to who I want to be and the people I want to serve. That definitely did this.
Even what we say about 4 or 5 days ago, you probably didn't even know what your product was going to be.
No, but now I'm so excited.
And now, as a time bender, you've gone from that in 3 days, you've worked out a product, delivered a product, and got paid for a product.
Yes. It's really great. It's a great feeling. It's very great. Being able to actually help people doing something that you really love.
And that's what our Soul's Great Vision is all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'd like to think that, when I teach people their Soul's Great Vision, it's not a one-off job. Like I said, it's a story that unfolds, but also it's a story that keeps unfolding because you keep growing. I don't teach people their Soul's Great Vision by telling them what they're going to do. We just uncover parts of them and then we take the next step. So all the steps that you've taken since 2021, considering you still were doing your pharmacy work at the same time, have built up, and the healings and the recalibrations and the soul journeys that we did to clear out anything that didn't align, have led you to the point where manifesting just happened like that, because you were it. It wasn't so much that you had to create it, what you wanted, you were it. And actually that reminds me of one part of the story we didn't talk about, which is the pharmacy part of how being a pharmacy, working in medicine and the medical field, how we found that there was a link, because you didn't plan on being a medical kind of.
No. We realized doing some sessions of one-to-ones healings that was actually my grandma's vision for our family. But it was definitely not something that I was looking forward to do. It wasn't something that I had planned to do at all.
And this is how manifesting works. Your grandmother put that idea in your head as a child, you became it, and suddenly before you know it, you're working as in a pharmacy, and you didn't plan it, it just happened. And it wasn't even what you wanted to do. And now you've used those same skills, but now you've realigned yourself with what you want to do.
Yeah.
And instead, you've now manifested your first client. And the thing is, it's not the stuff you learned on the course that you got your client on. It's your unique wisdom, your unique talents.
Yes, it's definitely putting together the intuition and the energy work that we've done and making it into something that is my own frequency.
Mm-hmm. And it's much more aligned with this new higher dimensional ascension energy that's coming in right now. So I think we all have, like I said last week, we all have this new fifth dimensional spark of knowledge that's coming in and changing what we're meant to do on the planet right now. And I think when we can tap into that, that's when we can manifest more easily. And over solstice, it's been quite a strange energy. It's been kind of heavy. Some traumas have been coming up. It's been quite hard, like old past karmic things have been coming up to kind of be healed. But this is all part of the unplugging. And the more we can align that that's part of the ascension process, the downs, the ups, the breaking apart, the moments where we don't feel connected to anything, that's kind of part of the quantum human skills, is learning to walk through all of those feelings in a way that keeps us moving forward, even if we don't know what we're moving towards. Yes. And we've had some of those this weekend too, which is perhaps, again, not a coincidence that that's also come up at the same time. It was kind of like this came up, got cleared, this came up, and then suddenly became a possibility. And it's interesting how I've been mentioning this before, like retrocognizance. It's like seeing some of our old stuff in a way that allows us to understand the benefit or what it was preparing us for. And literally in the same moment, having something really bad this side and really positive this side, like two complete different sides or two different timelines separated by a chasm. And yet they're both there in your field of view at that point. And you get to choose which one you step onto. And that's kind of what's been coming up for us, I think, since solstice overall. So does anybody have any questions for Marta while she's on? So Marta, how would you summarize? Because the courses I delivered were all intuitive as well. I didn't know where they were going. I started with the soul grit vision. Then I got told, make them do a presentation. And their faces were hysterical when I said that.
We didn't know what to expect, because you always say, I don't know what we're going to do. I have no idea.
but at the end of each one, would you say that it was worth it?
Yeah, absolutely. We all loved it, all of us.
I'm glad you said that. It's like, I hope she said that. But that's the thing. That's why I'm saying it's a journey for all of us, because every course so far has got more stranger for me than logical.
Yeah.
So once we did the soul's grit vision and worked out how archetypes were important in us learning, we moved on to this being visible, creating this process of learning to sell yourself. And I still think this should be a skill we learn in school. All children should be taught how to set up their own business and how to sell themselves, because that really helps you get in touch with your own inner value. And if you think about your pharmacy work now and this work you've just done, this client you've just done, and you had to compare the value you feel in yourself in both those roles, could you put that into words?
So I do feel more valuable while doing something that I love, because it comes straight out of my soul. But I've also realized while doing the work, the energy work during these past few years, I've realized that even the work in the pharmacy changed, and I started feeling more and more valuable, and therefore that got recognized also by my peers.
Yeah, so the soul grit vision and connecting to your value impacted your existing job as well. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that actually. Yeah,
exactly.
That's a good point to make. So the whole point of this connecting to our soul's grit vision is that it doesn't have to be a completely different job that you do. It could be bringing a different value into the work you're already doing. So when people ask if I work with people who are setting up their own businesses, it's not necessarily that. I'm just helping people bring their value and a way to deliver it to the world in an impactful way, in the best way possible. That's what my real aim is. So whether that be a parent, like parenting children in a new way that creates more amazing quantum humans, whether it be in your corporate job, bringing in more spiritual kind of approaches, whether it be setting up your own business or leading some part of your community, it doesn't really matter. It's about being a quantum human is all about being impactful, doing what you love, loving who you are, and enjoying life doing it, knowing that you're on this adventure, forever growing, forever accelerating outside of your comfort zones. Like, I think, what did you say to me today when I said, Marta, will you come live with me today?
Yes, it was a bit scary, although there's always something every day this week is they're like, oh, expand, go out of your comfort zone.
But hopefully it's easier when you've got somebody by your side, like, you know, we're part of a membership, there's a group of us and we're all supporting each other through this.
Yeah.
And that's important as well. You know, the training kind of is the training. It's experiential, so that you get to sense it, not just learn it in your head. It's about feeling it. There's healings alongside it, so that we do one-to-one work to make sure that we clear out the blocks so you can absorb the training to the maximum. We have a dancing with energy, so we learn to embody and change us on a physical DNA level and change us on a cellular. It's like opening up your DNA to hold more of your multidimensional soul, and then trusting yourself and believing in yourself. And then putting all that together with action. That's the action. Like, Marta, get online and record this moment. It's an amazing moment to celebrate your first client doing something completely radically different than you thought you were doing 2 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I love to be serving people that are more aligned to what I want to bring to the table for these.
Okay, are you willing to go a bit bigger? Are you willing to say something like what you see the future of your work being?
I want to be helping people connecting more to the soul tribe, their creative soul tribe, their creative council, so that they can have more flow in the creativity, like a more soulful and creative approach to their life. Maybe they've got it already, but maybe establishing that connection with the soul tribe will help them get in even deeper into that.
And I think, you know, we've got to separate now, because the soul tribe on Earth versus the soul galactic tribe are two different things.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you're taking.
I'm not projecting all to the 5D. So for me, that's all there is.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know, like when I started training Marta to do her soul vision, I didn't know where she was going to be. And then for it to come around full circle that her work actually helped me as well. is magical. You know, that's the kind of the closing loop to say, yeah,
it really is.
everything I've opened
really
up
is.
and awoken in you, you can now serve me with, and I can still serve you with the divine intelligence. And it's this give and take, which is the collaboration that Quantum Humans will be doing. And it'll be the way we will do a business as well, and creating this new paradigm for how we all work together.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Well, you actually come up, that's the end of time, believe it or not. So you were worried
about... Yes, I was really worried. Oh my God.
But we're actually here at the end. So guys, sorry, we spoke, but we didn't ask anybody any questions. But if you have got any questions for Marta, Jenny's saying, amazing, well done, Marta, great niche. You've given me hope, you're on the ladder. Yes, we're all on the ladder. Remember, the snakes and ladders time is shoot up a ladder for a moment and then catch up on your soul's vision much quicker. We're time benders.
As part of the people that are already like in our group, we are like a family, and I'm sure all of them will get to this same point now at some point soon.
Well, it's happening. I've seen it not just for you. I've seen like this, like I said last week, there's this new, it's so hard to explain. It's just like a new door's open. That's probably the easiest way. A new door's open because, like, you could argue, well, why didn't you do this 10 years ago? And my answer would be, I don't think the energies were ready for it then. Not that you weren't, but it was like you were being kept a secret for the moment in time where this was needed, because otherwise you'd be too ahead of your game and you might give up because you've tried and then it failed. Whereas now it's like the fruit is ripe for picking. You're at the right time with the right frequency, with the right offering to go forward. It's still a bit ahead of its time because, you know, all the people I work with as quantum humans are visionaries, so it's still a bit ahead of its time. But as I say, we've got a client, so we know now that people are starting to recognize that this is the way to go. So that's super exciting.
Yes.
So thank you all for listening. So I'm Trudy, and I offer soul guidance and dancing with energies to help you kind of learn, letting normal people learn how to become an alchemist of their own energy and manage their space. And now we've got Marta, who can help you change your home and the frequency of your home so you can connect to your soul galactic tribe and bring in even more insights and creativity into your home using her sigils and crystals. And we've got other amazing members in our group. We've got a musician who's tuning into the fifth dimensional energies to create music. We've got Jenny, who's helping tune into how to heal the trauma that you may have had after a divorce, if you're a child of divorce, using quantum energies for that too. And we're all learning to tune into the quantum field and pick up the pieces that are ours so that we can all work together and create a new community for people. So hopefully you all enjoyed that. If you did, please do share, subscribe to my channel. And I'm quite useless at giving headings to my videos. So I thought this week I'd ask if anybody wants to kind of give me some comments of better headings, then I'd really appreciate that. Because when I'm channeling in the moment, I'm just getting the details down. And then afterwards I have to go back and read and see what I said. But hopefully you enjoyed this case study today. So thank you, Marta, for joining me. And hopefully,
thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Onwards and upwards, and we'll see you perhaps in a couple of months' time and hear what your next news is. And maybe some of our other members come on and do this with me.
Yeah.
So I'll just say goodbye because now I'm going to go on and join those who join me on Zoom. And every week we have a think tank where we get together and just share what we've all been feeling in the energies. And that's a Zoom private invite, so you can always message me if you want to join us for that. Otherwise, I'll say goodbye for this week, and I'll see you next Monday for some more Quantum Human